one of our biggest stories, if not the biggest story this morning, regarding this little girl who had went missing. Now, I do want to give you just a little bit of background about what happened here, and I'll also show you the little girl. This was the image that was put out by Savannah's police department, and they said that the girl was taken by her mom after a supervised visit yesterday morning. Now, they said that this was supposedly a custody issue. According to that alert, she had been last seen in a white Nissan Altima. But again, thankfully, we can report right now that the little girl has been found safe. As we get new developments about, what led up to her being found and what might have happened between the young girl's mom and perhaps the rest of the family, we will be sure to update you both on air and online as well. Well, another story that we're watching at this hour regarding MARTA's 5-point station. You know what? If you have been a part or ever taken MARTA, you understand there are a lot of people that depend on the transit system. Why? Because it is something that, a lot of people do, and it just makes getting around easier depending on who you are and where you're trying to go. But right now we have a look at the $230 million renovation that is supposed to be getting started starting tomorrow regarding the 5 Points MARTA station. This project, you may remember, was paused last summer because they couldn't figure out what the timeline of the project was going to be. But let's just say this will impact a lot of people. And Atlanta News First Sarah Hammond has more on who's really going to be impacted.
Well, we're here at the Forsyth Street entrance of the 5 Points MARTA station. This is the only one that's going to be open while this construction is underway, that is scheduled to start tomorrow after about a year-long delay here. Now, phase one of this multi-million-dollar project will include removing the concrete canopy that you can see, with future phases seeing the construction of a new canopy, a centralized bus hub, and community spaces. Now, MARTA says the project will affect bus routes and street access at their busiest station for about 18 months. Again, Forsyth Street is the only entrance that will remain open, but they say it's necessary, saying design issues and decades of water intrusion have caused damage throughout the station.
This is a win-win for MARTA, for the city of Atlanta, and for the riders that we serve as we move forward in improving transit across our region.
I think I speak for everyone that we're excited about the solution and excited to continue to move forward.
Now, if you do take the bus here from the 5 Points MARTA station, you're going to start seeing those impacts tomorrow as construction gets underway. You can see a full list of what those impacts will be on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. For now, live in downtown Atlanta, Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
And speaking of downtown Atlanta and you trying to get around downtown Atlanta right now, an update to that story regarding the sinkhole that has been a bit of an issue since Wednesday. This happening Wednesday, but we are still feeling the impacts on this Friday morning. Atlanta News First Don Shipman is with the First Alert Breaking News Tracker. This is along Central Avenue, which turns into the newly renamed Shirley Franklin Boulevard. He has more on when we can expect things to actually be put together so that you can travel along that road once again.
The goal is to get a fix in place by the weekend, so that means we got to get through this morning. Just to give you an indication as to where we are just south of Memorial Drive right there. It's where downtown meets southwest Atlanta. Let's get you around this mess right here. Take a look at your screen. First, the city says just avoid the area altogether. For drivers heading east on I-20, use exit 56B to Windsor Street, turn left on Windsor, and continue north on Ted Turner. Drivers going north on 7585, take exit 246 to Fulton Street, stay right to Fulton, then turn right on Fulton, then left on Hank Aaron Drive, and continue north on Capitol Ave. Now back here, take a look. Work is stalled right now, but crews will be back at it shortly. The sinkhole capped with a big metal plate. Crews with Atlanta's Department of Watershed Management saying that the pavement caved in on Wednesday when a private contractor was doing some work a block up the street. They accidentally filled an abandoned non-city line with a bunch of water. In an update overnight, we're told that the pipe is now capped.
That water kind of hammered underneath the road and created a void under the road and caused some damage to the road, and we were able to catch it pretty early.
And also helping out drivers, be on the lookout for those big electronic message boards. There's a number of them around the area directing you around this mess. We're here in Atlanta. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
All right, Don, thanks so much for that report there. You have to see this. It is now a warning coming from parents regarding a dangerous TikTok trend, and I should say coming from school officials. Parents are being urged to have a conversation with their children right now. So take a look at this. This is the so-called Chromebook challenge that it invites children to use metal objects like a paper clip and then put them inside of a laptop charging port. Now, I don't even think we have to say what that could potentially do. You've seen the video there. There was a video out of New York that shows what happens. This is it when students do something like this, and you can see that smoke coming from the device. Atlanta News First, we reached out to various Metro Atlanta school districts about this trend, and many of them echoed the same sentiments. If your child ends up destroying the school property, they are subject to disciplinary action, and also the parents are going to have to foot that bill. So just a reminder for you to talk with your young ones about that, because nothing about that is cool, all right? And also, last story, we have to talk about Delta Airlines, because if you're planning on booking a ticket anytime soon, it's going to be making some major changes to its booking process. Now, this won't start until October 1st, but keep in mind, you start booking, usually a couple months out. Delta Airlines is rolling out new cabin names. Main cabin will become Delta Main. Comfort Plus will now be Delta Comfort. And first class will be called Delta First. Delta is also adding new travel experience options for main cabin flyers. Premium Select and Delta One will remain unchanged, at least for now. But I hope you did hear in this report that I said nothing about the prices of those tickets coming down. That's what the people really want. You keep the names the same. We just want a little little change in the price. Let's give you a live look outside on this Friday morning. It looks a bit gloomy out there, and we're told it's going to be quite warm today. Quite hot. Let's call it what it is. First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi is here. And Courtney, we understand that there have been some major changes in our forecast. Saturday and Sunday both are now First Alert weather days.
That's right. Yeah, the systems that we're tracking that are going to be knocking on our door over the weekend. They're really tricky to forecast. They're so small scale that models struggle to get their exact timing until you can get some more higher resolution data in there. And we are finally getting that more high resolution data in. So with better information for you at home, as soon as we know, you're going to know that is the reason for our First Alert weather days. That's why we pulled the First Alert weather days for Saturday and Sunday. Going to give it a moderate impact on your weekend. Rain and storms will be possible both days. It's going to be very early Saturday morning. However, the threat for severe storms does exist overnight. So we just want to kind of put you on heightened alert there. Really important to have a way to receive weather warnings overnight, as there is the potential for maybe an isolated tornado as well. We will have a higher coverage of rain and storms on Sunday. Not going to be a washout, but if you do have any afternoon plans, I know we have a lot of graduation parties going on over this weekend. You'll probably want to make some backup indoor plans just in case, or at least have a way to make your way inside if any of those storms do start rolling on in. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. So as Brooks mentioned, today it's going to be hot and humid. 89 degrees, a little warmer than yesterday. It will feel more like the low 90s. Going into tomorrow with that First Alert weather day, here's a look at 1 a.m. So what we're going to be watching for is a thunderstorm complex that's going to push in from the north and move off to the south. We call these MCSs, mesoscale convective systems. Essentially what that means is they're little bursts of energy that move in and brings rain and storms, and they are well known to bring damaging straight line winds. However, it does look like we have enough wind shear, especially north of Atlanta, for maybe a tornado or two for the morning tomorrow. Now, again, very early threat. Recent model data, which is what you're looking at right now, will show you that these storms have sped up a little bit. And again, these are pretty hard to track because they're so small scale. So this timing could very well shift an hour or two, either faster or slower. So you'll want to stay up to date with the forecast throughout the day today because you will have the potential for showers and storms to really ramp up through the day, through the morning tomorrow. So again, 2 a.m. as of right now, that could shift an hour or two throughout the morning, or throughout the day today. So make sure you're staying tuned for updates. Just give me 1 second if you don't mind. I'm going to quickly fix a graphic really quick, and we'll get right back to your forecast. I just wanted to update you really quick. Okay, all right, now we're back in action. Okay, so as we go into, and I just hit the stinger. Maria, did you say you were clipping this for social media? Hello, the people of Instagram. This is what live social media looks like. Okay, so going into the 4 or 5 o'clock hour, showers and storms will be possible within Metro Atlanta. So again, north of the city, west of the city, that's where we'll be looking for maybe a tornado or two throughout the morning. And around 6, 7 a.m., so just before sunrise, storms pushing into downtown, and then everything sinks south of the city after sunrise. And by 11 o'clock, we're done with the potential for severe weather tomorrow. A few storms could be possible south of the city down towards like Lake Oconee, but for the most part, we'll see sunshine return tomorrow, and that'll have temperatures climb back into the mid to upper 80s. Sunday, again, there's that higher coverage of showers and storms, 50%, temperatures in the low 80s, and we'll take you through that timing here in just a couple of seconds. But I want to let you know that tonight, so overnight into early tomorrow morning, damaging wind will be the primary threat. Lightning also will be likely. Can't rule out some small hail, but brief tornadoes also possible. Again, that threat really overnight before sunrise, north and west of the city. Really important you have a way to receive weather warnings. Taking you into Sunday, we'll have the chance for a few morning showers. I don't think we'll have the fuel for storms at this point, but then going into the afternoon, another cluster of showers and storms will move in, and very similar to the line of storms that moves in Saturday morning, this could carry some damaging straight line winds, some heavy rain, and frequent lightning. So again, if you have any afternoon plans on Sunday, it's important that you keep the First Alert Weather app handy with you. It'll let you know if storms are knocking on your door. Well, these will generally be quick passing. They still could pack a punch, so it won't wash out your day, but it could interrupt your day. And we'll hold on to the chance for storms even into Sunday night. Taking a look beyond Sunday, Monday we'll have a high temperature near 90 degrees. It'll be hot and humid, our first 90-degree days of the year so far. And then look at Wednesday, 50% coverage of showers and storms right now. We're still working on the timing of that. If it looks like it's going to be so early that it won't impact your plans or so late that it won't impact your day, then we'll hold on to just a chance for showers and storms. But if it looks like it'll impact your commute in some way, we'll go ahead and give that a First Alert Weather Day, but we'll worry about that closer to when it comes. But regardless, the bigger story is take a look. Behind that front, temperatures are going to go from being in the upper 80s to low 90s to the 70s. Leading into Memorial Day weekend. We'll wake up in the 50s Thursday, low humidity. It'll feel fantastic Thursday morning. Again, with highs only in the upper 60s to low 70s. It does look like we'll gradually warm up into Labor Day weekend, or Memorial Day weekend. So if you do have any plans for Memorial Day weekend, as of right now, it looks comfortable. Temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 70s to low 80s, and we should stay dry through your holiday weekend. So good news for the upcoming holiday weekend. Going into next weekend, bad news for this weekend with the potential for severe storms. So make sure, again, have our First Alert Weather app handy. We'll give you updates on the latest timing, the latest storm threats, everything you need to know throughout the day. All right, everyone, I hope you make it a wonderful day. Enjoy your Friday, and we'll catch you here next time.